528, aka Big Money Benjamin. And who I got here? My man, Baba You. Check this out. I'm giving y'all a special. Make sure y'all comment. I will be monitoring the chat. Make sure y'all hit the like buttons. I will be monitoring the likes. Not playing games with y'all. Y'all come on here, show respect. I'm just going to let him flow. You see the topic. The Egyptian mystery system is only for the chosen ones. Some people think they know, but they don't know. Remember that the books have price if you buy the course. Okay? What course is that? Can I add? The Egyptian mystery system. Okay? I'm about to put the link in the chat right now for you that's now coming in. We're already over the 100. Just so you know, put your light in there. Okay, we're already over the 100 mark. So, I'm putting this for you so y'all can see. So, here it is. Copy and paste. That's the pay-per-view live stream link right there. Salute to Carolyn Russell coming in, Tina Bush coming in, Tanisha Jackson coming in. Salute to y'all. Babanu, one, the only. Say hello to the people.
Good evening, everybody. Good night. Hope everybody have a wonderful day. We have a very interesting show here. You know that on the 31st, that is going to be we are going to be doing the ancient Egyptian mystery system. You know, going over the tree of life within man, and
Do you think I'm about to move over on the side here? I'll be monitoring the stuff.
yeah, you know, it's it is a daunting task to get and to uncover the truth. We live in a paradigm where there is an oversaturation of false information. And as as I was having a conversation just earlier here, people were discussing various beliefs, and I was overhearing, in the conversation, and what what it really points to is that you have this agnosticism going on, and a lot of people, and this is the way it is supposed to be, they don't know. So in contemplation of what I was hearing, I thought of my response, even to realize that it's better that some people don't know. This is a special system. You know, honestly speaking, when you look at the human population, when you look at the human condition and the human paradigm, you don't want people into this system. You know, you would want people to, just simply be going to a church or mosque or whatnot, only believing in one God. All they do is pray, and that's pretty much it. You know, there isn't much more on top of that outside of, don't cheat on your spouse, don't have kids out of wedlock, those type of things that really keeps the population in control. And just before we went live, someone who was, checking out the book and stuff like that, they were really on this agnostic point, which I've seen coming up over and over again. And it has to do with animal sacrifices. Animal sacrifices being wrong is almost like it's like believing that the earth is flat. How do we eat? When you put that idea just simply to you are killing an animal for some being or whatnot, it does look crazy. But when you understand that it's about feeding someone, um, you you can, if not killing something right then and there, you can have something that's already being killed. It doesn't have to be animal. It can be vegetable that you can use to feed yourself and your spirit and your shrines. Another thing is, which is very interesting about this idea is, one guy said to me years ago. He said the deities don't need sacrifices, and yet it's true. And when you get into volume one of the God Genes Decoded, you will get an understanding of the science behind what they are doing. Because as we get into the tree of life within man, we are going to be talking about the Ka division of the spirit. In ancient Kemet, they said that sacrifices are for the Ka of the deity. Now they cloned the Ka. They have it there. It's in the shrine. It can be occupying a stone. You can even have the Ka of a deity in a book, right? You could get a little cut and go like this and just feed it. Blood has a lot of energy. Our meridian lines are analogous, closely connected to our blood vessels because of the chi from the blood is what causes, is what feeds and flows into our meridian system. And that's why now you can also feed the ka of the spirit with your chi. The idea that animal sacrifice is wrong is so agnostic. It's only fixated on killing an animal. The person doesn't think about really what is going on, because you can, if you understand how the chi flows out of your hands, you can feed your amulets with your chi. People like myself, with my blood type, whose chi is strong enough, we can consecrate and clone the ka of a deity without animal sacrifice. Animal sacrifice is a word. It's feeding. That's really what is going on. And there was a whole lot of, when you get into the different parts of the spirit, there's a whole lot of text in ancient Kemet about getting nourishment, getting feeding. When you look at Osir Ani, oh, and this person really thinks they're into ancient Egypt. When you look at Osir Ani in the Perle Meru, the most popular version of the Perle Meru, he his major accomplishment in there is that he maintained the shrines. He made sure all the deities, shrines, their ka got fed. And what this did is that you have a civilization that is peopled by the spirit, the ka of these high evolved ascended beings. Um, they have to be sustained like you have to be sustained. They have to be maintained like you have to be maintained. When you look at animal sacrifice in ancient Egypt, the people would eat the food too. They would do the sacrifice. You'd have the blood would be put there, and then they would chop up the meat. Some would be cooked, some could be left raw. But afterwards, people would take it and they would eat it themselves. It's food, and the only way you can get food is by taking life. A tree is alive. Like I said, with my blood type and stuff, we tend to be telepathic and psychic. When you eat a plant, the plant has feelings. It gets hurt. I remember many years ago when I was in Barbados, this Rastaman said that. He was like, people don't even know the plants have feelings Because when you go back to the Bible and the Christian era, with Jesus Christ died, spilled his blood on the cross, so nobody else does it, that also flowed into animal rights. Don't kill animals because animals have feelings, but people forgot that plants have feelings too. So there's this idea that I am better because I'm killing plants and not animals. All this stuff gets all wrapped up into this agnostic paradigm that was made to dumb down the population to make it easy to conquer. There are two ways to win a war: spiritual and physical. Spiritual always trumps physical. There are so many amazing things that have been done with the use of shrines and the spirit of the deity, whereby you would you know I cannot and will never not respect a revolutionary, a spiritual leader who's not an African traditional priest that practices that, because I know they have no ashit. I know they have no power, and I know they can't really do much but acquiesce to the system. When we look at this system of oppression and black people's fighting of it, specifically here in North America, not Haiti, not Jamaica, not the Quilombos of Palmares, the failure is because they are not priests and priestesses. They don't have shrines, they don't do any type of offerings, they just have their mouth. And eventually the government has them. And that's where it begins and ends for black people in this country, never ever getting out from under the bootstrap of the Congo. Because the people that step up to lead, they are in darkness. They're not into the voodoo. They might, some of them talk about spirituality, and some of them talk about different gods and goddesses, and even talk about Africa. But none of these people over here. I mean, even the great Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these guys got taken out because they had no protection. They had no deities backing them, and it's really some something to pull your hair at. But what it is that they have rules, and those rules require that you walk out of the agnostic world. You could be the most righteous, most needy person on planet Earth who wants to do the best thing. You have to walk out of the agnostic world into the Gnostic world before the deities will allow you to get up there. And you wonder why. And when you realize, one, this is the fallen planet, it's very hard for them to do their job, and they are very far away. That's what the shrines are for, to have proximity. As they say, a lot of people, because I've been around spirituality and spirituality for a long time. A lot of them just think that either the gods and goddesses are just there at their beck and call. Like you could just call them and they have all the time in the world for you. But I've noticed that, and you see this in Haitian voodoo. When a deity comes to help you, you have to make a shrine. You have to make the shrine. It's going to come to help you, and then it's going to leave. And you have to make the shrine, and that's what you keep, because it has other things to do. So it makes for interesting. Can't hear me properly. Can other people not hear me properly? Can you still not hear me properly, Empress Light? But my name is Babanu. If anyone wants to, contact me to get readings and to get some insight on their life, my email address is Egyptian Voodoo Priest at gmail.com. That's EGYPTIANVODOOPRIEST at gmail.com. I'm gonna post it up. You know, and still to this point, when you read over, in the I Ching, it talks about sacrifices, and I can recall this is pretty much the same exact thing that I heard today. This is years ago, where the person said, "Well, that means you're supposed to sacrifice the animals in your spirit. You're supposed to give up some type of animal behavior," and that's what that represented. Meaning that, of course, this person is claiming that they know above all what exactly that means. That's in the I Ching. It's very easy to say that. When you get to the Bible, even with the whole idea of not doing any more sacrifices because of Christ, in the Bible there are passages that will tell you you need to do a sacrifice. You know, um, like a goat or something like that. There are passages in Psalms that will even let you know when you need to put the blood on your left foot. And that's why the ancient Egyptian kings would always be depicted stepping out on their left foot. You have the left hand side and the right hand side, and the left foot and stepping out on the left foot is about dealing with tempestuous people having to establish dominance. It's through the left side. you know um some people might feel certain energies going down their left foot. That is your energy fighting off attacks from other people. Why you would feel that going down your left foot. Yeah, there is some interesting background music going on, but I hope that with the mic up closer, that people can hear me now. And yesterday, not yesterday, last show, I spoke about hell and how people think that hell isn't real, and how you have people that are saying that it was invented by the white man and whatnot. And I was going over, you know, like Valhalla and stuff like that. But even that, people can say, well, that's after the whole Christian thing came, or whatnot. But in ancient Kemet here, it talks about your soul being held captive and being tortured and suffering inside of the earth. Um, oh, keep not captive my soul. Oh, keep not ward over my shadow, which is the Kai bit. And let me see the great God in the shrine on the day of the judgment of souls. And let me recite words of Osiris, whose inhabitants are hidden, to those who guard the members of Osiris, and who keep ward over the Ku spirits, and who work evil against me, lest they work, and who hold captive the shadows of the dead, who would work evil against me, lest they work evil against me. And there are several. I saw another passage like this where it even got more into the horrors. It talked about the different demons. This is in Egyptian scriptures. Talk about different demons in the underworld that torture you. Um, what I find interesting though is that for the ancient Egyptians, it was not an eternal damnation, and I'm really, really perplexed about this. I'm really trying to, you know, get an understanding of why now, and this is in contemporary Christianity and the Bible and stuff. Why they're speaking of, you just pretty much you commit certain sins, or it's your last chance, and you do certain things, you go to hell forever, and you're tortured forever. It never ever stops. And that sounds so cruel. It sounds so mean. Why not just end people's existence instead? For me personally, I really have to do some more research. No, the deities have to come and tell me what's up with that, because one, in Kemet, it wasn't permanent. Now it's being said that it's permanent. However, though, you know, truth be told, when I look at it, and these things and what has happened to bring about this type of ideological paradigm amongst man, it is just obvious that one, we 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 are all not the same. uh we're all not the same. We're all not on the same level, and this definitely is not for everybody. It's like how a lot of people go to school, and they might go to school for something like a liberal arts major, a sociology type of major, as opposed to you know engineering or scientific or whatnot. This is really, really, where it 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 gets real as you climb up. Thank you. Background sounds flowing with Bob a new word. It's about time. I used to play. It was something called Anugama years ago when I would do my talk shows, and it was really, really cool. The mood that it was set, but this ancient Egyptian mystery system, Egypt and Kemet is just a place. It's beyond that. It's about this body of knowledge and the privilege of the knowledge, because of the things that you can do. It really makes you a dangerous person. Um, every everybody, this system is not for everyone, and it doesn't open up to everyone. You really do have to prove yourself. And as a person who has been studying, in this life from age 18 up until now, I remember I used to have this idea that eventually people will get it. Eventually people will realize, and it's like it could be 10 years later. It's like, no, no. People don't just get it because time goes by. People don't just get it because they are going through situations in life that will bring them to. No, there's usually some type of intervention. There's usually some type of intervention, and um, it is opened up to them, or you have to find a, a, a guide. You have to find a spiritual guide or a spiritual leader who does have that connection and can bring you in to the fold. And we are living in very, very, very interesting times now. Looking at climate change, Humanity is on the precipice of major, major change. And it's going to be a rough ride. Um, People who are into numbers, studying numbers and stats and data, out in Silicon Alley, are calculating that there's going to be a whole lot of unrest that will be coming. It's like, get your guns and get your shields. Get your gun, get your weapons, get your protection. And me, I'm talking spiritually. Guns, ain't really gonna do much. But I am talking spiritually. It's gonna be a rough ride, and we are seeing it. There's an uptick in climate change is a big issue, and that affects human mood. So we are looking at Africa for forever. Um, Give me a call. You know, uh, you want to get in contact with, you know, your spiritual guides. You know, if they're not already, you know, in contact with you, you know, I can help you with that. You know, and you have to understand as well, because this year, several people, contacted me. They got readings, and it's always, they are not getting enough contact and stuff like that, and I've been able to help them get that contact. But of course now, a lot of contact happens when you are sleeping, so your sleeping e- area has to be tended to. You need to take a spiritual um, bath to keep yourself clean, but also you need to study. You need to study. Your spiritual guide um, is like on a higher level and wants to have meaningful discourse and interaction. And that is why the focus on the holy guardian angel, which is your own personal angel guide, is so important. How how you find our spiritual guide? Okay, I'm sure they are with me, but not sure who they are. Yep, it's trying to get their names and stuff like that of your spiritual guide, and that's usually like an ancestor. But last show we we were going over the birth angel guides. Those ones are also very, very critical, because they also help you with your mind. That that particular class of angels, I've been working with them a whole lot. But for people who would like to get a birth angel amulet, these will be the people who are purchasing this particular set of classes that I will be doing. I'll be giving 50% off for the birth angel amulet. It's really, it's a privilege to know your birth angels, to know their names, and to be able to establish a contact with them so that they can help with your guidance. And to be honest, it's something that is supposed to be done from youth. So don't forget that we are living in a culture that is off, and we are also pretty much not we are not privy to these types of things. And even back in ancient times, especially with your birth angels, it was actually still a privilege back then, because a lot of different things have happened on the earth. When you look at it, ancient Kemet, it was being rebuilt after a whole lot of destruction. So privilege was a part of it. You can't do for everybody. You don't have time to do for everybody. People specialize and people learn things. But what you have is that you have, you know, a a priesthood, and that is like the scholastic and academic caste of the nation, and they get a whole lot of contact from the deities, are privileged to a whole lot of information. So yes, they could have this, or they might be able to bequeath it to someone in their family. One of the things with when you have when you have connection to those birth angels, you become a genius in the area that they guide, or whatever it was with your destiny. You really excel above and beyond the average person. you know um Joel and I, we have a project where we plan to unveil the full set of the 72. They're called genii, and like I was saying, you know um last show, someone's angel guide was Neith Hahea. uh that's the goddess, that's the angel that helped me to write the book. It took a leap of genius. She fixed my perspective, the way that I look at things. Something as going back to how we started, why the whole idea of animal sacrifices being wrong and being evil is just simply erroneous. But it's so easy to fall for it. It's so easy for an unsuspecting mind to be made to think that this is something really really cruel and really really bad. you know um because I was a part of that movement, and I remember after I got initiated, it really took me back to my childhood. I grew up with chickens in the backyard and rabbits and stuff, and we killed them, and there was blood everywhere. I'm like, what the hell have I become? Like, this is madness. Like, this is a part of life. So if you're living in the city and in Brooklyn, it's easy for somebody to tell you, yeah, animal sacrifices, you should be killing any animals. But if you're living on a farm in a rural type of area, whereby you go hunting, I loved hunting as a kid. I wanted to hunt. I wanted to bow and arrow. I wanted to trap animals, kill them, cook them, and eat them. That seemed natural to me. That seemed normal to me. Then I got into spirituality, and it was evil. It was wrong. You're going to hell. And 2019, and people are still on that vibe, like they have become enlightened, they're going to heaven, like they really arrived. No meat touches my system and stuff like that. There are people in this uh, um, comedic movement who, you hear some of the things that they say. So for from the women, all the other brothers that eat meat, these women will not touch you. You are dirty. You are dirty, sir. uh, One time I said, when you look at, and this is in pagan culture, when you look at the feasts of the gods and the goddesses. There's always meat fact. There's a big pig with an apple in his mouth in the center, you know? And that's supposed to be like the worst meat. And over here, where we have such a perversion and corruption of nature and these type of things, of course, it's easy for people to believe they, oh, meat made you sick, meat did this thing to you. Um, I was in Africa, and the people don't buy meat from a supermarket. The people don't have meat in their freezers. If the people are going to eat meat, the meat gets killed the same day, and they pretty much cook how much they need and they finish it. You see people that are 50 years old and they look like 28. I look like a 50 something year old African. In America, you know, I could pass maybe, for a 30, but in Africa, with a lot of these people that have stayed close to their diet, they age really, really well. And what you realize is that, well, have you ever thought that maybe if the chicken was killed 6 months ago, is in the freezer, pumped up with a lot of chemicals, that's why, not that it is bad in and of itself, but there is a reason to, get people off of meat so they can get their animal passions in control. But you're supposed to be intelligent enough to be able to eat meat and not be a nut job. Because, like, I know people that I wish wouldn't eat meat. They would act much better. So I understand how things influence your behavior, but I'm not an absolutist. Please, do you sell spiritual herbal teas? Uh, to contrary, I don't sell spiritual herbal teas, but Nicholas Brooklyn does. Joe Benjamin does. You just want to contact him and see what he has. So, once again, when you when you get into the Egyptian mystery system, as especially starting with the cosmological doctrine and their creation story, a lot of those pitfalls of agnosticism start to fall apart. One, we we are eating the universe. As things break down and get into the air, it comes into our breath. And it's interesting when you look at the goddess Mut, and Amun was called the breath of life. His consort, Mut. This is on the cover. Um, Amun, and this is supposed to be Mut and their child Kansu. Now, Mut is symbolized by a vulture, and a vulture, when a vulture has children and has no food, the vulture would pick its own flesh and feed its children. So she was a symbol of a type of motherhood that you know takes an interesting look at self-preservation. To take from your own life, that your children would have life and not death, is very interesting. And someone said, wow, that's cannibalism. Yes, that would be cannibalism. um that's survival. And you are tasked to really take a different look at spirituality and religion, especially with the idea and understanding of survival. It's a whole different look on things, especially when you also have privy to understanding the source and origins of life, and how things were and how things are now.
Hold on, Baba Nu.
Yeah, man.
You see how much people watching right now, right now?
How many people are watching?
53.
Yeah.
How much likes that say?
I didn't ask for it. 35.
You shouldn't have to ask. And I always do this on purpose. 45 minutes you slowing. I mean, 35 minutes you was going. You know what? Y'all just don't learn, huh? That's the link for the pay-per-view live stream is in the chat. Let me give y'all something else so y'all can hold. Where you at? Where you at? Something else so y'all can hold. That's the email right there for Baba Nu. Egyptian voodoo priest at gmail.com. You come on here. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Y'all make sure y'all comment and y'all make sure you share the videos, which a lot of y'all haven't been doing anyway. Hello, Evelyn. See ya. Let us in here. Type it too. Internet Savior, what's up? Sadie V, what's up? How can I find out which animal is in me so I can?
Animal totem.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Um,
the dragon glass because it is black. That's
Dragon Glass Mirror.
yeah. The mirror is what you do a mirror ritual to find out what your animal totem is. Um,
What's up,
uh,
G Light?
Another thing that you can do is be in a dark room with a mirror and a candle. Especially Halloween is coming up. This is when the veil between worlds are much more thin, so it's much easier to see the spirits. So now would be a good time on that day to pull out, get into a dark room, put a candle up, get some shamanistic type of music going, and just keep looking at that mirror. And if it happens,
That's coming from your phone?
you will
You know it
see
now? Thank you.
either your head will
I'm about to wrap it up.
transform into whatever is your animal totem.
Mama Kafuni over here giving trouble, people. She need to get some damn earplugs for her peoples. But anyway, are you and Brother Divine family?
You who?
Look at Brother Divine.
You
Hold
mean
on.
you or
No,
me?
you. Hold on, Brother Divine.
Yes, we are from
Brother Divine.
we are from ancient Atlantis.
What's up?
Oh, hold on here.
That's a different story. Hold on.
What's up?
All right, text me that number. What's up?
Hey everybody, here goes Brother Divine.
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh yes,
See, they think y'all look alike.
four,
Oh,
four.
y'all said me and Baba New look alike?
Hey bro,
They
Well,
ask
you
if
know,
y'all
wrong.
family.
it is what it is. You know what
You
I'm saying?
do.
Are they
I
family?
got some generations in Barbados too, family.
Mm.
So I brought them clothes here so y'all could get a good description. Y'all think they look alike? And we've been getting that a lot. A lot of people say that about y'all. That both of y'all look
Your
alike.
Baba New funny as
Try to change his face.
Do you sell spiritual herbal teas at your store?
Yes,
Yes, we do. Come
Yes,
on
we
down
do.
to Nicholas, Brooklyn, and get some really good spiritual herbal teas. What I want to say about the um the angel guide amulet with your three birth angels, it will be Brother Divine that will be crafting it. You know, um, I was telling them that for the people that purchase the show, that I'll be giving them 50% off the birth angel amulet.
No, you will not.
My God.
No, you will
For
not.
people who purchased the
What,
show,
what kind of amulet?
the birth
No, what
angel,
metal?
it's silver.
Uh, the
Yeah.
price of silver been going up. The people that watch the show know. I don't know about 50%. You know what? Hold on. Let me see what the people say. For the people that do purchase that, because I know about that angel amulet. People that do purchase the pay-per-view live stream, y'all really would want that amulet half price? Should I do that? Should I be fair? Because remember, it's me and Brother Divine that do it together. So we coming off of that silver. That's money plus the crystals.
I brought it up
See, nobody
because
ain't even saying nothing.
I brought it because the last show that we did really threw me for a curveball. Wasn't expecting to get into
The angel.
into those angels, but I was glad that Joe Benjamin is familiar with them. They're a very, very important
Oh, I am
part of
very.
Kabbalah. Very, very important part of Kabbalah. So, and they are very, very important part of the astro-theological system. When you look at uh, the mythos of the Messiah, Jesus Christ, it's an astro-theological system around the zodiac. And he's the representation of what we're supposed to do. And this is how it was in ancient Kemet under Heru. Every king would be he would follow whichever zodiacal age that we were in. It was connected to one of the signs on the zodiac. But as well, every month, through the moon, we connect with a different sign. Like it could be moon in Aries. The full moon is in Aries. The full moon could be in Taurus. So there's an astrological correspondence to all those different angels, and those different angels, they open the way to work with the corresponding constellation. So the first six correspond to Aries,
And that's enough.
and that's enough.
I gotta be
I
making sure
kind of
y'all comment up here. Yeah, you gave up.
yeah
And I just let you flow with it.
yeah
Flow.
yeah and and that will be another part of the reading and stuff like that. Let's say your birth angel is X, Y, and Z. We look over what this birth angel governs and whatnot. It's still coming under Aries, so it still governs warfare, fighting, and justice and stuff like that.
Okay, to pay to join the class, Aaron, you're gonna call this number that I'm gonna put up right here. Call me 929-374-3828, or you could go on Eventbrite. Okay, and this is the link for the Eventbrite right here. Uh, Boom, I just put it in the chat. But most likely, call me 929-374-3828. That's 929-374-3828. And you could purchase the class through me. Some people don't want to go through Eventbrite. So it's up to you. Okay? Some people just feel more comfortable doing it on Eventbrite. It's easier for them. It's all up to you. Remember, when you books, please. When you do purchase the course, which is something I was against, but Bob Noon was like, "Nah, we gotta do it for the people, man." you get,
You got to do for the people
you
them.
gotta do it for the people, them.
For the people them.
All right. So how we gonna do this right here? We're gonna put it just like this. You're gonna get book one, two, and three. So that's volume one, two, and three, half price. Okay. So, do you guys have a product? Yes, we do. We got products here, but we ain't talking about that right now. So, Aaron, the class is here for you. Just call 929-374-3828. 3828. All right, let me put that number up again. Okay, that's the number. So you can call for the class. And I put the link in the description again. And you'll get the amulet for the angel amulet
Half
for half
price.
price.
Half price. You
See, that's
want?
why I don't like leaving you alone. You see, you do stuff like that, you put it on the spot and half price.
I just want to live.
Well, you know how expensive that amulet is already, man. Half
That's
price.
that. You
What's
know.
your phone?
No. It's over here. But people, they're paying for the class and
But they are paying a good amount for the class and
right.
they're in the deep end, so I can understand that.
It's a special thing to get them started as well. Your birth angels, having the amulet, having them with you, working with them, it helps you crown chakras.
mm,
Your birth angels, those three birth angels, they work with your crown chakras because it's the brain. They work with the mind. You know.
Peace. People, Joel Benjamin 528. You want to get the class? Call that number right there, 929-374-3828. You want to get the books? Get the people, man. You showing your book?
Oh
You messing with your jewelry and whatnot?
no, sir.
All right. You see, book. Wait, let me do it in order. Volume 1, you get half price. Okay. Volume 2, you get half price once you buy the course. And volume 3, you get half price once you buy the course. Anybody else is looking to get it, it's going to be full price. Okay? Joel Benjamin 528 and my man Baba Nu. How much is the angel amulet? How do we know the three angels? We will break down the three angels for you. You call us, you give us the angel, and we do not give out prices on YouTube. If you've been watching us,
Yeah,
Darlene
call
Smith,
us.
you know we do not give out prices on YouTube at all.
Last show
Because
we
we
did.
gotta make sure the size of your wrist, because Baba Nu giving you a half price of the silver one. So we gotta make sure we measure the size of your wrist because it's the amount of silver we're gonna use. Then we gotta know what stone. So we can't just give you a different price. Once Baba Nu and me do the angel reading,
Right.
break down what your angel is, then we could tell you what stone.
And that's how we know which angels we have. We do a reading, and it tells us um, your three angels. It goes by your date of birth and time of birth, and that's how we figure out what
And
your
if you
three
don't
birth.
know the time, we could rock out with the date of birth.
Yes, and what I can do with you will only get two, but I'll get the third.
Trust me, he will get the third.
It's very easy to
That's only if you don't know your time of birth.
right. That's only if you don't know your time of birth.
All right, people. Salute to the international audience, the domestic, everybody out there. You want that class? Remember, call this number right here, 929-374-3828. You want the books? Call this number, 929-374-3828. Um, that's about it.
That's about it.
Peace.
Peace.